Okay, hello. I don't know. There was some new things popped up whenever I started the thing, so I'm kind of confused a little bit because there was some sort of what is that? A poll or Q&A thing? I don't know what that is, but it's something I can do now. It gave me the option. So, hello, how are you? There was someone here. I don't know where that person went, or if okay, I'm easily amused. Confused. Well, see, the thing is, it never had popped up before. I guess it's something new. There's several new things that are going on with YouTube for creators, and I haven't learned about all of them. There's some things that I never learned before because I just don't have any interest. Like, there's like subscriptions that I could do where people will pay monthly to have me do special extra things. I don't have time for that. I mean, yeah, I would have a monthly some sort of money coming in if people actually joined, but I don't want people to have to subscribe for money. It's supposed to be free for you. So that I just haven't done it. Now, if there was ever a time where I was going to be doing something special that I don't know. I'm not saying I won't ever do it, but I have no desire as of now to do something like that. So I haven't looked into it. I haven't learned anything about it. I know there's a lot of big channels that do it. There's some small channels that do it, and they do special things. Hi, Amy, Carol, and Donna. I didn't say hey to all of y'all individually, but hey, y'all. We're going to be finishing up 1 Samuel today. That is not the right page. And I know that we've had some prayer requests. I meant to contact Jatan and find out how her daughter's doing, but I forgot to do it before I got on here. So I need to do that. She's the one that's 25 and she's pregnant and having some difficulties. And then, of course, Selena, always Selena. And there's been a couple of new ones. Donna's friend. I don't know if I should say her name, Donna, but she is having some situations. She's in the hospital, or she's either in the hospital or been in the or went to the doctor, one or the other. I'd have to look back at the thing. Okay, she said it Winter. Okay, her friend Winter, who is she in the hospital or did she just get out of the hospital? I'd have to look back at the email. In the hospital. Okay, I was right. And then her daughter-in-law, Sam, I'm going to go ahead and say it. We're not saying last names anyway. I don't even know Sam's last name, so it's fine. But Donna's daughter-in-law, Sam, has pneumonia and RSV. And then there are just so many different ones. And then your friend Bonnie. How is your friend Bonnie? I don't remember if I asked last time. And then your doctor, how is he doing? Has he had another surgery, a third surgery, or, that kind of thing? Mary Reed Cruz's uncle, who I don't know if he's passed away yet. I need to ask her. But her mom couldn't go see him, and it's her brother, because of her health. So he's back to work part-time, sees 10 patients a day. Well, that's good that he's back to work. I hope he doesn't overdo it, though. But then there's Oklahoma boy. His name is actually Randall. His Meemaw passed away. I'm 2 of my fingers playing piano today. Ouch, splint it. Oh, you jammed 2 of your fingers. Oh, that's not good. You must have been really hitting those keys, girl. If you jammed your fingers playing the piano, you must have been really into it. Or I don't know. You could probably do it anyway, but ow. Yeah, ouch. All right, well, I'm going to write it down anyway. I'm going to write it down anyway because I am. If I write it down, I'll remember to pray for you. Also, Flora, my sister, who is sometimes here, she had surgery Friday. She's doing well. She was here last Tuesday, and she's told y'all what it was, or she said it was okay if I said what it was about. But she had skin removal surgery where she had her, I want to say it was gastric bypass. Anyway, it was weight loss surgery. And she had the skin removal surgery. She's in pain, but she's doing okay. She knew there would be pain, but she's doing okay. And then I found out Tuesday when I went to see my mama. Also pray for my mama. Her name is Joyce. She just always needs prayer. She's 73 and she's not in the best of health in some ways. She has different things going on with her. But anyway, she told me that my sister, who is 2 years younger than me, Denise, has lost sight, not completely, but mostly in one of her eyes. And they say it's COVID related. She's not had, it's not the COVID vaccine, but she did have, the doctor is telling her because she had COVID, I want to say 3 times. He's turned 73. Tell him happy belated birthday. But anyway, I think she had COVID 3 times. I know 2 times, but she's lost sight in one of her eyes. She has always had vision problems. She used to, Denise is like 5 foot tall and maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. She's tiny. She's not like me. She's not big and robust. She's a tiny woman. But she has always had vision problems. She used to have, like, she would sit really close to the TV whenever she was younger. And Mama ended up taking her to the doctor or the optometrist, and she's worn glasses for years. So she's had vision problems for years, but of your sight is not good at all in any circumstance. But it's something that they're working on. They're trying to get fixed, but I don't know all the details other than that. But let's see, who else was there that's recent that hasn't? Okay, I think, well, Joanne and Joanne hasn't been here yet, and I don't know if she's going to be able to come today. But her granddaughter had her hearing aids, and she's only just a few months old, like 6 months old, I think it is. But anyway, lots of people to keep in our prayers, lots of people to remember. And then there's a lot of ones that, their praise reports. Like Amy, her husband has gotten to go back to work after having his accident. Amy, how is your medicine situation? Is it evening out now? Our Blessed Family, if y'all don't know about her channel, go check her out. She's really sweet. She lives in New Mexico, in the Four Corners area. I remember her saying it every time that I watch. But yeah, I was wondering how the medicine is if it's evening out. I know we've talked almost, every couple of days, if not every day. We talk every few days. We try to keep in touch and keep up with each other to make sure everybody's okay. But anyway, we're going to be finishing up 1 Samuel, the whole rest of 1 Samuel. We're going to be doing 30 and 31, and I'm going to get started with reading. I'm going to try to turn this light up so I can see a little bit better. It's rainy and cold, and it's not cold. It's 56. Okay, Donna. Well, I think I have that written down. Did I not mention that? I'm sorry. Always remember Donna and Robin in your prayers. Did I not? Okay, I have it written down, but I didn't say it. I'm sorry. But always remember the ones that come here, because we all, I didn't know if you wanted me to mention that or not. I should ask you before, and that way I'll know I should do that. But we'll be finishing up 1 Samuel today, chapters 30 and 31. And I don't know if what I kind of focused, what I took my notes on is what, I don't know if it's what y'all thought about whenever you read, but that's what Bible study's for, so we can do this together. All right, so I'm going to start reading in chapter 30. Now it happened when David and his men came to Ziklag on the third day that the Amalekites had invaded the south of, and Ziklag attacked Ziklag and burned it with fire, and had taken captive the women and those who were there from small to great. They did not kill anyone, but carried them away and went their way. So David and his men came to the city, and there it was, burned with fire, and their wives, their sons, and their daughters had been taken captive. So they came in, they took the people. They didn't hurt the people. Well, they didn't kill the people. I don't know if they probably did hurt them because war, battle, kidnapping. They probably did hurt them in some way, but they didn't kill them. They just burned the city. Then David and the people who were with him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. So they just cried until they couldn't anymore. And David's two wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess and Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite, had been taken captive. Now David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and his daughters. But David strengthened himself in the Lord his God. So they blamed David for this. And I just don't feel like that was the right place to be blaming, or who they should have been blaming. These people were against the Israelites from the beginning. But David did the right thing. He strengthened himself in the Lord. Then David said to Abiathar, which Abiathar is the priest. Where was I at? Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, please bring the ephod here to me. And Abiathar brought the ephod to David. So David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I pursue this troop? Shall I overtake them? So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to talk about the ephod, because that is what, whenever I started reading this, my internet keeps going out where I'm at. Oh no. Well, Amy, I had asked, I don't know if you heard me or not then, how's your medicine? Is it evening out now? Is it okay? Remember, we're still praying for you, but I did want to know that. But whenever I was reading this, I know I've read about the ephod before. I have not studied it in great detail, but I have read about it before. And this made me start wondering, okay, why is David asking for the ephod to be brought? Why did Saul ask for the ephod to be brought whenever they wanted to inquire of the Lord? So I went ahead and just started looking through the Bible, through the notes and things, and found some things. But the ephod is a priestly garment, and there is instruction about how it was supposed to be created back in Exodus. But I want to go to, oh goodness, I can't get this to turn right. Let's see. Let me just go ahead and read this, what I wrote, and then we'll go. David asked for the ephod. It seems the ephod was requested when Saul and David wanted to inquire from the Lord. We don't know if it was David or Abiathar who wore the ephod, but since Abiathar was the high priest and God is a God of order, I would think, this is my thoughts, that it was Abiathar who was wearing the ephod. And then there's a note in my Bible on verse 2. I'm at chapter 2, verse 18, and I wanted to read y'all that note. I mean, I know all of y'all don't have it, but I wanted to read that to y'all because it helped me to understand a little bit more, if I can get it to turn. All right, 2:18. The term ephod, the term seems to refer to three distinct but related items in the Bible. The simple linen garment worn by the priest, as in the present context, the very elaborate high priestly ephod described especially in Exodus 28:39, yeah, which was attached a breastplate containing the Urim and Thummim, oracular devices of some sort. That is the part that I want to kind of focus on, because I was trying to figure out, what does this mean? What is going on here? So I went back to Exodus 28, because that's where I thought, okay, if I go back to Exodus 28, I can understand the ephod more. Maybe I can understand why David and Saul called for the ephod to be brought. And it kind of made me think about different things of why. The Urim and Thummim, it explains a little bit in here. So I want to go ahead and read. I should have put this in the description, but Exodus 28, and I'm going to start at verse 5. They shall take gold, blue, which there's more than just this in Exodus 28. And whenever it starts, it talks about the consecrating and the breastplate, the ephod, the robe, and all the priestly garments. So they shall take the gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine linen, and they shall make a ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen artistically worked. It shall have 2 shoulder straps joined at its 2 edges, and it shall be joined together. And the intricately woven band of the ephod which is on it shall be the same workmanship, made of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linens. Then you shall take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel. Hi, Terry. 6 of their names on the stone and 6 of their names on the other stone in order of their birth. So the 6, there were 2 different stones, and there were 6 of each on there. And with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, you shall engrave the 2 stones with the names of the sons of Israel. You shall set them in settings of gold. And you shall put the 2 stones on the shoulders of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel. Y'all know there's a lot of times throughout the Bible they have memorial stones. They have different things, which now this time the memorial stones are on the shoulders of this priestly garment. Let's see. And you shall, oh no, I already read that part. So Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord on his 2 shoulders as a memorial. You shall also make settings of gold, and you shall take 2 chains of pure gold, like braided cords, and fasten the braided chains to the settings. So they're going to be fastened. I wish I had gotten a picture of an ephod. I failed at that part. Maybe I can put one up on the community tab. Let me make myself a note while I'm reading this. Okay. So on verse 15, you shall make the breastplate of judgment artistically woven according to the workmanship of the ephod. You shall make it of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen. You shall make it. It shall be doubled into a square. A span shall be its length, and a span shall be its width. You shall put settings of stones in it, 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be of sardius, a topaz. Oh, I missed my place. And an emerald. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row, a jacinth. How do you say that? An agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold settings, and the stones shall have the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of the signet, each one with its own name. They shall be according to the 12 tribes. You shall make chains for the breastplate at the end, like braided cords of pure gold, and you shall make 2 rings of gold for the breastplate, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. Then you shall put the 2 braided chains of gold in the 2 rings, which are on the ends of the breastplate, and the other two ends of the two braided chains you shall fasten to the two settings, and put them on the shoulder straps of the ephod in the front. You shall make 2 rings of gold, and put them on the two ends of the breastplate on the edge of it, which is on the inner side of the ephod, and 2 other rings of gold you shall make, and put them on the 2 shoulder straps underneath the ephod toward its front, right at the seam above the intricately woven band of the ephod. This is very particular how God is telling them how to create this. And there's so many stones and so much gold, and it's not like it's actually my mama gave me some shirts, which I will find out in the description box. In the video tonight about them. But hold on a minute. I just thought about this. This shirt has all this different gold and stuff. Okay, this is thread. This is not real gold. But if you think about all this intricate stuff in here, this was all done with metal, from what I understand, with actual real gold. And I just thought about that shirt when I thought about that. Like, whenever it said that, that's what I thought about. I should have gotten one of my books to show y'all. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I know I have books that show different things that are like the pictures and stuff. So I'm going to see if there's an ephod in here. Oh, this is probably the wrong book, because I want to show y'all what it looks like. I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have seen them before, but and I said I'd put it on the community tab. It'd probably be better for me to just put it on like if I found it online, to just put it in the description box. Okay, there's not one here. I'm sure I have a book with a picture of it. I know I do. But I don't know, like right offhand, which one would be the one. This is an old picture Bible dictionary. It's got all kinds of pictures in it, but it's all black and white. But y'all could get the idea, and I'm pretty sure y'all have the idea from just what I've been reading. But for some reason, this was very interesting to me. Okay, so this would be like the priestly garments, which I know it's in black and white, so you can't see it as well. But this is what they think that it would look like with the middle part with all the stones and everything. I don't know. I mean, you can't really see it well, but it looks like they have the stones, the 2 on the top there, that are the ones for this got 6 names on each one. And then each one of the other stones had a name on it too, but it was all the same names from what I'm reading. But anyway, what verse was I on? Let's see. I think I was on 26, but I could be wrong. All right, 26 is, you shall make 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate on the edge of it, which is on the inner side of the ephod, and 2 other rings of gold you shall make, and put them on the 2 shoulder straps underneath the ephod toward its front, right at the seam above the intricately woven band of the ephod. They shall bind the breastplate by means of its rings to the rings of the ephod, using a blue cord, so that it is above the intricately woven band of the ephod, and so that the breastplate does not come loose from the ephod. So Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel on the breastplate of judgment over his heart when he goes into the holy place, as a memorial before the Lord continually. And you shall put in the breastplate, this is where I really wanted to get, you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be over Aaron's heart when he goes in before the Lord. So Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel over his heart before the Lord continually. So the Urim and the Thummim, or Thummim, I don't really know how it's supposed to be said. Where's my phone? There it is. Let me see. I had found something. They are they're two objects. This is what it says in, like, for dictionary.com. But it had me thinking about other things. And it probably, I don't know why I thought about this. But anyway, the Urim and the Thummim, two objects of unknown nature, possibly used for divination, worn on the breastplate of the Jewish high priest. So you did a search for ephod. I clicked on images, and there's a lot of pictures. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures. But what I was thinking about, all right, the Urim and Thummim, or how do you say it?
Urim and Thummim.
Thummim, okay. I don't know. Anyway, the Urim and Thummim, however you say it, have significant purpose. So, here in my Bible, I know everybody doesn't have a study Bible. It does have a section that it talks about those two things. So I kind of wanted to talk about this. Yeah, it's really interesting, but let me just go ahead and tell y'all what I'm thinking. Okay, there's all these stones, and there's these special stones, and all these different things. And you know that Satan, I'm getting ahead of myself by doing this, but I just got to say it. Satan has something like a copycat of everything God has. God had this holy breastplate, this holy clothing for his priest. And would you please spell the two? Okay, I will put them right here. Oh, what is happening to my computer? I don't know what I did. I pushed the wrong button. Spelled that wrong too because I did that. I'm not usually having a book or two books in front of me whenever I'm typing. All right, let me make sure I spelled that correctly. Yeah, okay. That's what they are. That's what they're called. But we know that Satan has a counterfeit for everything. So this started making me wonder, and I know this had nothing to do with David and the battle and all the things. We'll get back to that. But it made me wonder if this is where people got all of this about collecting crystals and the crystal ball and the using this stone for this and that stone for that. It started making me wonder, and I just wanted to know if y'all were wondering that too. But I want to read about the Urim and Thummim, or Thummim. I don't know how you say it. No description of these objects is present in text, but later tradition suggests that they were markers used in casting lots. Y'all know what casting lots is like, throwing the dice. It's like, like they did whenever they were casting lots for his clothes. They were going to see who was going to win. That kind of thing. There is no negative character attached to Urim and Thummim, as there is no other divinatory practice. Neither are they mentioned in passages describing non-Israelite rituals or worship. Divination, oh, there's a bug again. Y'all know bugs just attack me all the time. All the time when I'm here. I think it's the lights. Anyway, divination by lots is known in the ancient Near East, Babylonian oracular, I can't say words, text preserve the answers given to yes and no questions in a procedure known from Mesopotamia called, I'm going to butcher this word, but I'm going to try it. Sephomancy, I guess is probably what it is. I don't know. It's Sephomancy. A yes-no question would be posed and a stone drawn out. Whether the stone was light or dark would determine the positive or negative response. Urim is the Hebrew word for light and may represent the white stone. The closest parallel to Urim and Thummim, or Thummim, comes from the incantation ritual text from Asher. The Assyrian ritual process is clearly one of the divination by using a black stone hematite and a white stone alabaster. The wheel of 7 gods is sought by lifting up one of these stones. So I started thinking, what is this? Where they started doing this, and my Bible started answering my questions, and that's why I wanted to bring this out today. Is because everything that God has that is good, Satan is going to bring something that's a copycat that's bad. And we have to watch for those things. Anyway, I'm going to finish reading. In order to perceive that wheel, Shamash, the god of oracles, is addressed. Wait a minute, did I read it all? Yes. Is addressed. Offerings are made and 2 stones are put into the hem of the ritualist garment to be retrieved at the right time. The ritualist writes the name of 7 gods on the ground and then lifts up a stone. A judgment is rendered and revelation given. If the gods so desires, yes. If no revelation or judgment is received, a stone of no desire, no, is given. It is not stated explicitly which stone stands for desirable, no, not desirable, but based on other ancient Near Eastern divination texts, white is probably the yes stone and black is the no stone. Evidently, the ritualist repeats the process 3 times to confirm answers given, as was somewhat common in rituals. The process involved the stones involved light, truth, the binary options available, the technical terms used, the option of no answer, the drawing of the stone from the garment, and the types of questions addressed all suggest that Urim and Thummim and this process may be related. So, question, what version are you reading from? This is the New King James Version Cultural Backgrounds Study Bible. Let's see if I can get it to show up. But it's a cultural study Bible. That's the one I chose to read from, because if we know the culture of that time, we can know what was happening better at that time. So that's why I chose to use this one right now. But I don't know why that I think, well, let's see. Let me say that again. Before, whenever Saul had asked for the ephod to be brought, I was like, you got the NIV? I got this one at Ollie's it was like, I think $20-something. And if you get a study Bible for $20-something, you better grab it. But especially one that's got all this, because that's a lot of notes. And this is not large print. I have problems sometimes, but I do have my glasses right. Whoops. I've got my glasses right here for my reading, just in case if I need it. That's why I turn my light on, so I can see a little bit better. But anyway, whenever Saul had asked for it, the thought come to my head, like, why is he asking for that, to ask God a question? Well, now David did it, and I was like, well, now David's doing it. Why? Why is he doing that? So I just had to start go looking, and it got me thinking about that stuff. Why does he need that? Well, because that is what God told the priest to wear, and the priest is who that the king is supposed to go to for getting answers from God, because the priest is who talks to God. That is the way the whole thing worked in the situation. Well, it doesn't work that way now, because Jesus changed all of that. And I do believe that Abiathar was the last priest, I think. I'm not sure. We'll find out as we go through. Let's see. Hold on. Hey, Google. Was Abiathar the last priest? I don't know if
here's the top search result.
What? Ain't nobody talking about no Abby Jimenez. I don't know who that is. It doesn't like my southern speak. Hey, Google. Was Abiathar the last priest? No, forget it. No, shush. I'm not going to do it that way. Okay, here. Let's look up Abiathar, the high priest. So much easier to use your fingers instead of doing it the other way. Let's see. The father of abundance, abundant father. In the Hebrew Bible, the son of Ahimelech, or Ahijah, high priest of Nob, the fourth of descent from Eli, and the last of Eli's house to be a high priest. Oh, yeah, he was the last of Eli's house to be the high priest. The last of Eli's house. So what does that mean? We'll have to look into that later. Because we haven't even, it's already 2:36 and I hadn't even barely touched chapter 30. But anyway, I was very intrigued by it. I don't know if it matters, but it made me think maybe that's where they got that from. Maybe that's where all this stone worship is what it seems to me has come from. I don't know. Anyway, let me go on to where I was at, because I didn't even finish reading verse 8 in chapter 30. I hope that didn't throw us off. I don't know. I'm going to go on. We're in the story where all the people have been taken, all the women and children have been taken, and the men want to stone David, and David goes to the high priest and says, consult God for me. That's in my speak, not the Bible's. And he answered him, this is God, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So David went, he and 600 men who were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those stayed who were left behind. But David pursued, and he and 400 men, for 200 stayed behind, who were so weary that they could not cross the brook Besor. Now, I was like, why are they mentioning that? Why does it matter if 200 left behind? We'll find that out later. But there's a reason why God had that in here. Then they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David, and they gave him bread, and he ate, and they let him drink water. I believe God put this man here. I believe God made this happen. We're going to find out that he was sick, but I don't think God made him sick, but he let that sickness be used for God's glory. I'm getting ahead of myself a lot today. I think this whole chapter kind of made me excited about things. I don't know. Anyway, and they gave him a piece of cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. Nope, I skipped part of it. And they gave him bread, and he ate, and they let him drink water, and they gave him a piece of cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. So when he had eaten, his strength came back to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk water for 3 days and 3 nights. Then David said to him, to whom do you belong, and where are you from? And he said, I am a young man from Egypt, servant of an Amalekite, and my master left me behind because 3 days ago I fell sick. Now, God didn't make him sick, but he's using it. I believe he's using it. Or he did use it. We made an invasion of the southern area of the Cherethites in this territory which belongs to Judah, and the southern area of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. This little guy does not know who he's talking to. He doesn't know who David is. He doesn't know that it's his place that he burned, that is his women and children that he took. And David said to him, can you take me down to this troop? So he said, swear to me. Well, it doesn't seem like he knows, but this part does kind of sound like he knows. But, like he didn't know in the beginning, maybe. I don't know, honestly. Now I'm questioning myself. Because my thought was he didn't know, but I don't know. I got so excited about the ephod that I didn't pay as much attention to the rest of it, and I'm sorry. But, I mean, I did, but I didn't. So he said, swear to me by God that you will neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will take you down to hit this troop. And when he had brought him down, they were there, spread out all over the land, eating and drinking and dancing because of all the great spoil which they had taken from the land of the Philistines, from the land of Judah. Then David attacked them from twilight until the evening of the next day. Not a man of them escaped, except 400 young men who rode on camels and fled. So 400 were there to get the women back. So that means that all of David's, like his people, were not even close to how many were there. if that makes sense. Does that make sense? 400 of the Egyptians got away. So there had to be a lot more than that. Probably double or triple, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really say, but so David recovered all the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives, and nothing of theirs was lacking, either great or small, no sons or daughters, spoil, or anything which they have taken from them. David recovered all. Then David took all the flocks and herds they have driven before those other livestock, and said, "This is David's spoil." So David got everything back. Now David came to the 200 men who had been so weary that they could not follow David, whom they also had made to stay at the brook Besor. So they went out to meet David and meet the people who were with them. And when David came near the people, he greeted them. Then all the wicked and worthless men of those who went with David answered and said, "Because they did not go with us, we will not give them any of the spoil that we have recovered, except every man's wife and children, that they may lead them away and depart." So these guys, not all of them, it said the wicked ones. And I'm pretty sure not everybody who went with David was wicked. Remember, there's 400 men with him. I'm pretty sure it wasn't all of them, but there were some. There was a section of them who were saying, "They didn't go with us. We don't care if they were sick. We don't care if they were weary. We don't care if they couldn't follow us. They don't get anything. We did all the work." Even though that just before that, those men were in battle too. That's how that they weren't there when their wives and children got taken. It'd be different if they had sat at home and let their wives and children be taken and never done anything. But these men had been in battle, and then they had to go straight back to another battle, and some of them just couldn't do it. So this certain few said, "I don't want them to have anything. Let them go. Let them have their wives and children and go their own way." Like kicking them totally out of the whole place. That's the way it sounds to me. But David said, "My brethren, you shall not do so with what the Lord has given us, who has preserved us and delivered into our hand a troop that came against us. For who will heed you in this matter? But as his part is, who goes down to the battle, so shall his part be who stays by the supplies. They shall share alike." So what he's saying is, these guys stayed here. They took care of what was here. They rested. They took care of our belongings that were here. They deserve just as much because they worked too. So it was from that day forward, he made it a statute and an ordinance in Israel to this day. Now, when David came to Ziklag, he sent some of his spoil to the elders of Judah, to his friends, saying, "Here is a present for you from the spoil of the enemies of the Lord, to those who were in Bethel, those who were in Ramoth of the south, those who were in Jatir, those who were in Aurora," I don't know how to say that, "those who were in Siphmoth, those who were in Eshtemoa, those who were in Rashal." I don't really know how to say that one either. "Those who were in the cities of the Jeremielites, those who were in the cities of the Kenites, those who were in Hormah, those who were in Korashan, those who were in Athak, those who were in Hebron, and all the places where David himself and his men were accustomed to rove." Now, I might have butchered every one of those names. I don't know. But David, I wrote down in my notes, David didn't allow the men to not share. He made them share, because that's what was right. They all had battled. They all had their place in this situation. And just because 200 couldn't go further does not mean that they didn't deserve part of the spoils, because they had their part in the whole thing too. They were taking care of things back home, is pretty much the way it was. So now we're going to go to chapter 31, which is going to be where a prophecy is fulfilled. And it's a very short chapter, but we're going to go on there. But I don't know if I've made any sense today. I feel like I've gone all over the place. Mostly I've just read the Bible, except whenever the ephod part. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell slain on Mount Gilboa. Then the Philistines followed hard after Saul and his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua, Saul's sons. I don't know if I said that last one right. It may be Malchishua. I'm not sure. The battle became fierce against Saul. The archers hit him, and he was severely wounded by the archers. So his sons died, and now he's wounded. Then Saul said to his armor bearer, "Draw your sword and thrust me through with it, lest these uncircumcised men come and thrust me through and abuse me." So Saul asked his armor bearer to kill him because he knew if he were found by the enemy that there would be horrible torture. Because back in those times, any kind of king or leader was tortured, from what I understand, was tortured more than just a regular warrior. If you were a king, if you were in high command, you would be made example of. You would be tortured extensively. So Saul is saying, "I'm wounded. I'm not going to live. Just go ahead and finish me off. Just go ahead and do me this favor. Let me die. Just finish me off." But his armor bearer would not, for he was greatly afraid. Therefore Saul took the sword and fell on it. I'm pretty sure the armor bearer, because knowing that, okay, if I'm the one that kills the king, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to be the one that's going to get in trouble. I'm going to be the one that has to face the people, because he would be the one not really killing him, but killing him. He would be, he'd still be killing him, but he wouldn't be the reason why he was going to die in the beginning. But he refused. So Saul fell on his sword and did it himself. He killed him. He went ahead and finished himself off. It's pretty much the way it goes. He went ahead and died by the sword, his own sword. So Saul, his 3 sons, his armor bearer. No, wait a minute. I missed a part. So Saul was dead. He also fell on his sword. And wait a minute. Nope. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he also fell on his sword and died with him. I really don't know why he did that. I don't know why. I don't know if there was some kind of significance in that. I don't know if there was some reason why. Maybe he was grieved. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he thought that something, they were going to come after him. Let's see. What does this say? I haven't read this down here. It doesn't say. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't say anything about that part, about the armor bearer, why he would kill himself. Not that I see anyway. No. Okay. So Saul, his 3 sons, his armor bearer, and all his men died together that same day. So the prophecy that Saul and his sons and his lineage would die on the same day, that's what this is saying. All of his men, they were defeated. And when the men of Israel who were on the other side of the valley and those who were on the other side of the Jordan saw that the men of Israel had fled and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. So it happened the next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen on Mount Gilboa, and they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent word throughout the land of the Philistines to proclaim it in the temple of their idols and among the people. Then they put his armor in the temple of Ashtoreth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan. Now when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard that what the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men rose and traveled all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan, and they came to Jabesh and burned them there. Then they took their bones and buried them under the tamarisk tree at Jabesh and fasted 7 days. So the Ashtaroths were false gods. They weren't God. And I had wrote down why burn the bodies, because they didn't normally burn the bodies. They didn't normally burn the bodies of their people. They buried them. So I don't know why they would burn the bodies. Because it also says in here cremation was not a common burial practice in most of the ancient Near East, though it is attested especially among the Hurrian influenced Hittites of Anatolia. There's some sparse evidence of cremation burials in Judah from as early as the second half of 11th century BC, though some of what little evidence there is may have resulted in accidental causes such as tomb fires. So it also says in the Old Testament, burning in the fire or burning with fire is associated mostly with purification, with the punishment of capital offenders or both. Cremation as a burial custom per se is unknown in the Old Testament unless the present episode in which the mutilated bodies of Saul and his sons are burned provides an exception. I think in my mind, whenever I read that, I think they probably burned the bodies because they had been mutilated. They had cut off their heads. They had put them in an ungodly place, an unholy place. They put them with their false gods. They put them in their worship centers or places. And those are unclean places. And my thought is, after reading this and just reading the Bible itself, they probably did it because the bodies were unclean and they did burn things to make them clean. Not as a sacrifice, not that kind of burning, but they probably wanted to make sure that Saul and his boys, his sons, were clean. I don't know. It doesn't say, but it kind of makes me think that that's probably why they did it. And either way, that's what they did. And then they gave them a proper burial. In the end, they did bury their bones under the tamarisk tree at Jabesh. And then they fasted for 7 days, which is one of the customs, from what I understand, to fast when someone dies. Mutilated would also be that all the bodies were mixed up together, having been cut off, arms, legs, etc. Yeah, there's no telling, what kind of condition the bodies were in. And honestly, killing them was one thing, but they didn't have to mutilate them. They didn't have to do that to their bodies. They didn't have to, it just sounds to me extra cruel. And I can't think of the word. Like it's extra cruel, but it's also, I don't want to say overkill because that's not, well, that is it, but that's not the word I'm trying to think of. I can't think of I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't explain it. It's like, well, I don't know. Like, what is it whenever oh goodness, somebody help me. Yeah, it's more degrading. Yes, that's on the line of what I'm thinking, but it's horrific. But yes, degrading would be a word that would explain what I mean, because humiliating, that's one of the words too. But like, they were trying to humiliate those people. They were trying to say, oh, look. And the thing is, they didn't kill their king. Saul did it himself. But I mean, they did kill his sons, but they didn't kill the king. But they're like, oh, look, we killed your king, and then we put him in our, look at, your God couldn't stop this. It's like it's throwing it in God's face that his anointed is dead, which God had taken that mantle from Saul. But either way, I believe that God looked after Saul. And honestly, this story of Saul, and I know it started with Hannah and Samuel, um, and all of that, but this story of Saul is truly sad to me. Because if he would have just stayed on the right path, I don't think this would have happened. I think that it would have been okay. I think that he would have reigned until he, died, until he was old age, and things wouldn't have happened. And it's truly a sad story, but this is what had to happen for David to come into the picture. And I believe the reason why is because Jesus is in the line of David. So it had to happen this way. And there's so many things we see in our lives and we see it in the Bible, but then we see it in our lives and we wonder, why did that have to happen that way? Why did that happen? And then we can look back on it later on once we have a clearer picture. Yeah, barbaric is another one. But once we have a clearer picture of what happened, and we're going to go to 2 Samuel. I want to know what's next. But once we have a clearer picture, we can say, oh, well, that's why God brought me through that. That's why I had to go through that. But I don't think Saul ever saw why he had to go through certain things and repent of those things. He just kept going and kept, like, he would repent a little while, then he would go back, and it was back and forth. Bible minds want to know, yeah. So, I feel like all of this did have to happen for David to come into power, because David was not in the line of Saul. Jonathan was. So, in a human sense, Jonathan would have been the next king. But Jonathan knew he wasn't even supposed to be the next king. That's why he helped David. So, I feel like that is why all of it had to happen. I think that is why that Saul had to go through the things he went through, even though none of it was something that was good. None of it, I mean, there were good things that came out of it, I'm sure, but it's just very sad to me. Saul's life ended up very sad. So we are going to go on to 2 Samuel. Let's see. We'll do the first 2 chapters next week. How many chapters are in 2 Samuel? Because, well, we don't have to finish it. There's 24. We don't have to finish it by the end of the year. But I am curious to know if we will. We won't. We'll get through 12 chapters. We'll get through half of it if we do 2 a week. But then again, sometimes we've done 3 a week with 1 Samuel. But we'll do 1 and 2. Let me get I was writing myself a note. Unless y'all think we should do more than that. I think we need to get started with that, which there's, let's see. Yeah, I think that will be good. All right. So we'll do 2 Samuel chapters 1 and 2 for next week. And I will try to find a picture of an ephod, and I'll just put it in the description, because they're actually beautiful from what, I mean, I don't know if it's really what an ephod looks like, but from what you see, what you can depict from the scripture, you can figure out what things look like if you go back and you read it and all that stuff. So we're doing that, and we're going to be starting the other Bible study in January. And I don't know, Donna has had trouble printing the PDF. If anybody else is having trouble, like from where I had sent it to you, some of you, I sent an email. If you're having trouble, please let me know, and I'm going to try my best to figure out some way, even if you are just able to like right click and save it onto your computer, or if you can do something like that. I want everybody who wants to have the itinerary or schedule or whatever you want to call it. I want everybody who wants that to have it. And I'm going to do whatever I can to get y'all that. And if nothing else happens, I'll send it to you in the mail. If you send me an email and tell me that you need it, I'll print it off and send it to you in an envelope. I just, need your address and stuff. But I don't know why that I started thinking about the ephod so much, and maybe that took away from the rest of the study. I don't know. I hope it didn't, but I just needed to know, do you have my email? Did you send me an email? If you sent me an email, I have. Have you ever sent me one? Let me see. Oh, that's not right. If you've ever sent me an email, then I do have your email. No, it didn't take away from the study, not at all. Okay, good. Because I keep all of you who sent me an email, I keep your email addresses. I save it so that I can be able to, if you, so I know who you are. No. Well, my email address is in the description box. Let's see. Let me see if I can real quick copy that. Yeah, I like to know about the culture too. There we go. That's my email address. Yeah, it does make better sense whenever we read about what was going on in that, what their life was like. And I know we can watch movies and stuff like that are depicting that time, which some of them, can you send this way? What? I don't know what you're saying, Carol. I don't know if, let me see something. I had sent, okay, let's see. Wow, that's big writing. That's crazy how big that is. I don't know why it did that, but okay. This, if it will let me do it, is how, if it'll let you click on that, you can go there and find the thing, if it will work. Let's see if it will work. Open link in new tab. Yes, it sent me to it. So you should be able to right click. Yeah, you can send me an email now. It won't cause any problem. Wait a minute. You mean on here? What do you want to send me? Wait, Carol, didn't you sent me something? I've got your address. See, I keep things. I have your address. If you want me to send you that in print form, I will do it as soon as I'm done. I have your address. I'll print it out and send it to you. I didn't show anybody your address, though. I really hope I didn't. I hope that's what you meant. I don't know. I'm confused. It's not hard today, though, to confuse me. But yeah, I can, I've still got your actual address, and I can send you a printed copy of that. That way you'll have it. Okay, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'll print it off and I'll send it to you, and then you'll have it before January, because I want everybody who wants it to have it. I can print it right now. All right, it's printing. And then I can put it in an envelope and send it to you. And you'll have it. Yeah, I've got your address right here. All right, so, oh, well, Kathy, I went off onto places and I came back to places, and that's what I do. So, you can go back and watch it all though, because I keep it all up every time. Let me put this back in real quick. Now it'll print. All right, so I will get that in the mail today. Well, if the mail has not came. If it's come, I'll do it tomorrow. It'll go tomorrow. But anyway, I guess I'm going to go for now. And I will see you guys tonight. The video is ready to go. And I will see y'all then in the comments. I truly appreciate y'all being here and hanging out with me and learning with me about the Bible. And, I know I have questions sometimes that I can't answer. And then we can put our minds together and we can search together. And there's sometimes things I can't find myself, and y'all help me find it. And that's what Bible study is all about, to do it together and to help each other learn, I think, anyway. But I will see y'all next time. I do hope that y'all did enjoy this and y'all got something from it. And remember, don't take any wooden nickels, and be sweet.